Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your day. So it just rained here the other day, yesterday, so here today it's been rather nice and fresh. So I am continuing our conversation of going through the list of chemicals, chaos storms that's found in your products and what they do to your body and ways in which, so that you can identify them to then start looking at how you can find alternative products and at least minimize as much as you can the chemical load of toxins and harmful things that go into your house, into your body, onto your body, and that make you sick, right? So today what I'm going to talk about is something that's really a concern. And it's so prevalent that when you start seeing what I'm going to, how this shows up and what I'm going to be sharing with you, then you'll be able to see how it's contributing to so many health problems. Okay, so to start off, I want to ask you, when was the last time you did or touched any of these things? Detergents, shampoo, deodorants. Did you use deodorant today? Perfumes or hairspray? A garden hose. When was the last time you messed with that? Vinyl flooring, moisturizers, inflatable toys for your kids, pesticides, fertilizers, and any kind of a plastic, which includes the shower curtains. If you did, these are just some of the things, mind you. If you did touch any of these things or use them lately, then you've exposed yourself to phthalates. And these are they're very prevalent in plastics. And let me spell it for you. I'm sure once you see the word on products, then you'll be able to make the connection of what this is so that you can learn to either avoid it and then look for products that don't have this in it. Phthalates is spelled P-H-T-H-A-L-A-T-E-S. So what is this and why is it so nasty? This is one of many, many, many chemicals that are considered or that are known to disrupt the endocrine system. There's also many chemicals that are endocrine disruptors that are in your food. So when you look at the stuff that you're putting in your body, the stuff that you have in your house that you're living in, touching, breathing the fumes of, when you look at the stuff that you're eating in your food, and then you start to add everything up and start to recognize the ingredients that are endocrine disruptors, then it's literally no wonder that people have so many problems with their endocrine system, with their mood, their emotions, their mental clarity, their energy levels, why cancers are going through the roof, especially cancers that are linked to estrogen or have an estrogen component to them. Cancers that are in the reproductive organs and breast tissues, birth defects, especially in genitalia, then all of this stuff you can trace directly back to endocrine disruptors. So this is a big deal. And it's something that you really need to start educating yourself on and really looking at what are you doing in your lifestyle and how can you make some changes so that you can discontinue or stop poisoning yourself every day. Granted, in our society, the way the chemical soup that we live in, you can't get rid of it all, but at least you can do things to help mitigate it as much as you can. Okay? So, today's conversation is on hormone disruptors and especially the phthalates. So, let's see what else they do. They make male animals in the wild more feminine. That includes men. So if you feel like you're growing man boobs, then it's something to look at. Okay, male frogs will show up with female organs, and some male fish will actually produce eggs. And that's not normal. So you can see how not only is it affecting us, but it's affecting the environment, the aquatic life, animals everywhere. The whole environment is really kind of in a sad shape because of these chemicals. What else? Let's see. I'm just going to kind of read from a couple of different books about this for you. So they cause conditions as breast cancer, infertility, low sperm counts, genital deformations, early menstruation. So look at all these little girls that are starting their menstrual cycle at age 10 or 8, before, when they're still children. I mean, think about this. This isn't normal. It's not healthy. Just because half of the population anymore is presenting these conditions or these symptoms doesn't mean it's a healthy thing. Phthalates or endocrine disruptors also contribute to diabetes and obesity. So again, look around the people that you interact with, just people on the street. How many of them are not well? Then you wonder why. So with just paying attention to things that we're doing and starting to become more aware and educating ourselves, then you can make different choices and live longer and have a more enjoyable life. Okay, so endocrine disruptors are also found in canned foods, cosmetics, plastics of all kinds, household cleaners, personal care products, and food packaging, the plastics again. And there's one study that was showing that pregnant women who have a high levels of a common endocrine disruptor called, I'm not going to pronounce the word, it's like 5 miles long, PFOA. It's a synthetic chemical. It does not occur naturally, but when pregnant women have that in their system, they are 3 times as likely to have daughters who grow up to be overweight. Think about that. Is that what you want your children to experience? And yet this particular chemical of PFOA is really unavoidable. It's in everything from microwave popcorn bags to carpet cleaning solutions, non-stick surfaces in cookware, and they're waterproof, breathable membranes for clothing and some paints. So it's, as I said, it's very pervasive. And so it's very difficult to get rid of stuff like this. And yet, that does lead to conversations about how you can detoxify yourself, do cleansing, look at your diet. What are you doing to help eliminate as much as you can on a regular basis these toxic chemicals so they don't wreak havoc on your immune system, or on your hormones and estrogen levels. All right, so let's come back to phthalates. They are, they are chemicals that make plastic more resilient and flexible. And again, they are also in car parts to personal care products. They're literally everywhere. They end up in the body when we swallow and inhale them, and less frequently when our skin comes in contact with them from the personal care products. And again, they mess with the reproductive functions and development of fish, lab rats, alligators, people. It has also been shown that not only do they have a direct link to cancer, but they double the risk for type 2 diabetes in adults. So hence the connection with diabetes and obesity, like I mentioned before. So these are not something that you really want to mess around with. What else can I share with you on this one? They are also found plastic shower curtains, like I mentioned, plastic water bottles, shampoos and detergents. So the thing is, knowing that they're in all of these different products, then just look at them and just look at the brands that you've been using and start reading labels and ingredients, and to stop buying the toxic household cleaners, detergents, perfumes, air fresheners, shampoos, and just learn to switch them out for different products that are non-toxic. And I'll be in the next week or couple of weeks, you'll want to be watching for what I'm going to be announcing, because now that I'm showing you a lot of these different chemicals and where they're at and what they do, then I'm going to start to give you a solution rather than just giving you all the bad news. I'm going to give you an opportunity to learn from me what you can do instead. Some of them are do-it-yourself type things, or just different types of ingredients to look for to replace these toxic things. Because you can have shampoos and deodorants and cleaning products that don't have the stuff in it, and still clean your house, still clean your body, your hair, still have makeup and things that you normally do to take care of yourself without all this toxic stuff in. So that even when you're out and about doing life and you're still exposed to this in ways that you can't prevent, then at least you'll know how to recognize what you can do. And so I'll be teaching you things with that. So be watching for some little specials that I'll be dropping and inviting you to in the next couple weeks, after I go through this laundry list of horrible things. Okay, another thing that is a very big endocrine disruptor is synthetic musk, the scent of musk. So this is a perfume fixative, is used to stabilize the compounds within a perfume or a fragrance, and yet it's very dangerous because it's a xenoestrogen. It mimics estrogen, and anytime you have a xenoestrogen in your body, then it's going to ramp up, or it's going to amplify the estrogen levels already in your body and throw your whole endocrine system off. Xenoestrogens are fake synthetic chemicals that mimic, so the body will recognize those as estrogens. There are some plants that are have xenoestrogen properties in them. However, they're not so toxic as synthetic things like these. So another thing about the musk that's really not so good is that it was traditionally obtained from male musk deer until it threatened their population. Which, again, why would you just destroy a whole animal population just to get one little chemical from them? It doesn't make any sense. They're extremely toxic, these synthetic musk chemicals, and they cause genetic damage in animal experiments, as well as reproductive and fertility problems, testicular cancer in men, breast and uterine cancer in women. They have been found in human fat and breast milk, with recent studies showing that 5 times greater concentration in breast milk samples now as opposed to 10 years ago. And that study was even 2 or 3 years old. So it's really not something that you want to be messing with. So again, I may sound like a broken record here, but start really looking at and thinking about, what are you putting into your body? What are you putting onto your body? What kind of chemicals and toxic ingredients are you subjecting yourself to and poisoning yourself with? I mean, it's like, why would you do this? Especially once you know what to look for. Okay, I can go on a rant about that. So another couple of things to wrap up on this conversation about phthalates. There were 72 products that were tested, and they all had these phthalates in them, even though not one of them had them listed in the ingredient list. And again, this goes back to that law or act that was passed in the mid-1970s, grandfathering in tens of more than that, like 60 to 100,000 chemicals. They were grandfathered in under this act that manufacturers do not have to put them on their label. So you'll never know that they're in there. So, okay, so the only exception of this study of these 72 products that did not show having phthalates, actually, correct myself, the only exception was nail polish. But even then with nail polish, it has formaldehyde and a lot of other noxious chemicals. So again, it's still not that great of a product. This toxic chemical is a fragrance used in vinyl shower curtains, and that's what gives it its smell. So when you buy the new shower curtain and you hang it up and you smell the thing for 5 days, what you're breathing in is the fumes of these phthalates. And so don't use chemical or plastic shower curtains, or even just air them out outside for a week before you bring them into your house. Phthalates are also found in air fresheners, detergents, and like I said, they disrupt the hormone levels. Okay, so let me give you a couple more things. They also, even though that particular study showed that nail polish did not have the phthalates in them, there are brands that still will carry or have that as an ingredient. Plastic food packaging, lotions, skin moisturizers, fragrance, cleaners, glues, a lot of different things have these chemicals in them. So there's several names that they go by, and I'll just read them off here. Actually, what I'll do is I'll read them, but then I'll also type them in the comments so that when you are reading labels, then you'll be able to recognize these words, because some of them are like, as chemicals are, then they're kind of hard to pronounce. So there's a bisphthalate, a diethyl phthalate, a dibutyl phthalate, a butyl benzyl phthalate, a dimethyl phthalate. I guess those are the most common ones. But like I said, hey Bernice, I will type those in the box, in the comment box, so you can recognize them on labels. All right, so that's the conversation, a lovely, very uplifting conversation about toxic things. But seriously, it's like start looking at labels and look for things that say there's no phthalates in them. Oftentimes, when you see brands that are tend to be more green, have non-GMO products, they're made from organic products, for whatever that's going to mean. They'll often say that they don't have parabens, they don't have phthalates, they don't have sodium lauryl sulfates, and all that their laundry list of garbage in there. All right, so again, be watching for something that an invitation I'll be offering to you in the next couple of weeks about just a fun activity, educational thing that I'm going to be sharing with you of how you can, or what to look for, what things you can do, do it yourself type of things for products that don't have these in them. I'm still formulating that in my mind, so it may sound kind of vague because right now it is. However, I will be doing a little fun educational thing for you to learn other things to replace the products with, so you don't have all this toxic load. All right. Critical information. Yes, it is. Thanks for your comment. I'm glad you've joined me. Please share this video, because again, it's like, I don't think this is a conversation that's being talked about that much, and then people wonder why they're so unhealthy, or they don't have the energy, or why they have so many problems with their endocrine system, their hormones, the reproductive system. So much of it can be traced back to all of this toxic soup, chemical toxic soup we're living in. All right, so please comment below what you enjoyed about this video and what stood out for you, and then be looking for the description of these nasty words, and so you can see them, recognize them on the ingredient lists. All right, so take care, and be looking for my next video when we go to the next lovely chemical. All right, enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care.